Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to another edition of Pre-Market PulseScan with yours truly, Dex, the Algo Capitalist, aka The Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, where you can register right now for our webinar later this morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be amazing. We got some new information, some new things we're about to drop on you that is going to be exclusive to the webinar, so you don't want to miss it. Also, in addition to that, you know you're thirsty, so head on over to PulseWaveTrading.com and get yourself a six-pack and get one for your buddy as well. Help us out, especially if you want to continue to receive these dope reports in the morning and in the evening. Smash that like button. Share the video with someone. You never know who you may be able to help or encourage with it. And also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that bell icon so you can be kept up to date and notified when new content becomes available. All right, so what do we call today, folks? Today is Take Back Friday. What does Take Back Friday mean? Take Back Friday means that if the market's been up all week, you can bet your bottom dollar is going to be down a little bit today on profit taking. Vice versa, if the market's been down all week, it's going to be up a little bit today on profit taking. People like to have the opportunity to go home at the end of a work week with some coins in their pocket so they can go to the club, so they can go party, so they can go and hang out or do whatever they're going to do. Nobody likes to go into a weekend penniless, okay? So profit taking. That's how we get down. All right, so as you already know, unless you've been hiding under a rock this week, front and center has been the coronavirus pandemic and how it may impact global markets, not just in the here and now, but in the near future. That is the concern, finally, on Wall Street. It ignored this all week. It talked about it, but it ignored it all week. Prices kept hitting new all-time highs every day. The market was going up like there was no tomorrow. Individual shares of stocks, too, rocketing, taking off, totally ignoring it as if it didn't exist in the United States and that it was only centered and focused locally in China. We know that's not the case. All types of evidence have come out since then, letting us know that the virus has pretty much hit every country on the planet. So with that being said, here's the impactful news for Friday. All prices slide as what? Coronavirus spread beyond China raises demand worries. Traders bid down crude prices after South Korean authorities confirmed 52 new coronavirus infections. Tesla's next Gigafactory is back on track after a German court threw out an environmental challenge. A judge removed an injunction preventing Elon Musk's electric car startup from clearing forests to build its massive assembly plant. That's the one thing that, always affects companies, man. Anytime you're dealing with commercial property, commercial real estate, there's this little teeny thing you got to go through called environmentals. That's where you got to hire people to go out and do environmental surveys and things of that nature. The county, state, municipality where you're going to put up said shop has to come out and, they're looking at soil samples. They're doing all types of stuff, trying to determine the impact on the, environment if you put up your gas station there or your store or your factory or your manufacturing plant, whatever it is, fill in the blank. Yep. That's what it is, folks. Very interesting, isn't it? Like they actually care about the environment. All right. As demand plummets due to the coronavirus, there's that word again, airlines project that this could be their worst year since the global financial crisis. The International Air Transport Association expects global air traffic demand this year to be 4.7% lower than it previously predicted. All right, so as you know, the airline industry has been struggling ever since the government came in and started really squeezing that industry. That was a weird one, man. You really didn't bother with the airline industry. They did whatever they wanted. They were carte blanche. They could, they set prices whatever they were. They did whatever they wanted to. It was really just whatever. It was a wild, wild west. And then around 1989, if my memory serves me correct, you guys can fact check me, but somewhere between the Lockerbie flight and that Pan Am situation, that's when the government really started taking a look at the airline industry. Now, they were warned by Israel and other countries that the U.S. was not immune to having hijacked plane issues and things of that nature, but the U.S. ignored it until the Pan Am thing was just, that Lockerbie thing just really, really hurt a lot of people's feelings. And that's when they realized, okay, we got to do something. From that point onward into the mid 90s, the governments came in and they just kind of like totally revamped the airline industry. And that's what started what I call government roll up of industry in the United States. So every industry you can think of started to go through a metamorphosis or a restructuring, if you will. And as a result of that, a lot of industries that existed back in the 80s no longer exist today. I can't even name you all the industries that went away. All right. It's like they were making room for something. All right. So what happened was you had the dying off of the industrial age and the birth or the conception of the information age. Now, even though a lot of jobs were lost from the old ways, from the old world, new jobs were created for the new world, okay? And the only downside was that a lot of those jobs that were lost were never to come back again. The most hardest hit was the quote unquote middle class. Now let's explain that. See, the middle class wasn't made up of, like 95% college graduates and PhDs and things, doctors, lawyers, and Indian chiefs. The middle class is made up of the guy that picks up your trash, the people working at the manufacturing plant or the factory over here. It was made up of mostly blue collar type people, believe it or not. All right. And what happened was when you took away all those blue collar jobs, they were replaced with new jobs, but they were all white collar jobs. All right. So that just kept the older people just went ahead and took early retirement or whatever and just cashed out. But then those that weren't so fortunate, didn't really have pensions and unions, they were just out in the cold, basically. All right. So when government puts its hands on industry, the result is always catastrophic. All right. Now I'm going to fast forward you up to today, up to now. Okay, so here we are in 2020, right? So from the year 2000 to around the year 2010, 11, there came another wave of government meddling. This time it was they were going to revamp Wall Street. Now they claimed it was at the behest of the public outcry because of the NASDAQ bubble bursting. Okay. Now, what happened was a lot of people lost a lot of money when that tech bubble burst in 2000. So the government came in with all these new laws and legislations, and this was on the back. Now, remember now, this is before 9/11. All right, this is a year before 9/11. So you have these new banking laws and things that took into place. They took away the common man's ability to go in and buy and sell stocks. Now you have the pattern day trade rule to prevent you from day trading. People will open up a $500 stock account and be able to day trade in and out of stocks all day, all night, and there was no worries. Well, they took that away. Government said, no, we're going to meddle. We're going to babysit you and nanny you and tell you what you can and cannot do. It's for your own good. We are your nanny. We're your big brother. We're just looking out for you. We're going to protect you from yourself because you're an idiot and you don't know how to manage your finances or know how to understand and assess risk for yourself. Because whenever something happens, the general public always likes to use the word ignorance. I was ignorant. I didn't know that those adjustable rate mortgages rates would adjust. I was an idiot. I didn't know that this low introductory rate would soon go up and change. I didn't know that. I didn't know that this particular loan had a balloon at the end of it with a ginormous payment that I had to make, or I'd be in default even if I paid the thing for 10, 15, 20 years straight with no late payments. So people say we're dumb, we're ignorant, we're foolish. Government save us. The government comes in and they save you and they bail you out. All these lawsuits were flying every which way. And so Wall Street had no choice but to die. So the Wall Street, as you know it today, is not the Wall Street of back then. It is dead. Pretty much everyone in the industry was just about laid off, and they had to reorganize and reinvent themselves. And here we are today. So technically speaking, the retail trader, the retail aspect of Wall Street is gone. All right. It's all made up of institutions trading with bots and algorithms and artificial intelligence, blah, blah, blah. This is how we got here. So it's funny that now the airline industry is blaming their financial issues on the coronavirus. Well, what about last year? What about the year before that? What about the year before that? What about the year before that? What about the et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, when there was no coronavirus in the media? They've been struggling, guys, for a long time, ever since the government meddling. I'm just saying. But I say all that to say we're in a brave new world now. All these news stories are showing you that China is incredibly important to the global economy. No China, no global economy. Isn't that just grand? All right, let me show you something real quick here. All right, so switching gears, the Dow is down 106 points, 29,063. We hit that 28,000 handle, and the overnight hit 28,969. Are we going to sell off today? NASDAQ 100 down 34.5 points at 95.89 3/4. Even the S&P 500 down 13.5 at 33.55 3/4. The Russell is down 6.3 points at 1688. And Bitcoin is up $160 at 97.75 after hitting a 96.05 low. Nat gas down 3 cents at 188. Crude oil down 92 cents at $52.95 a barrel. Long bond up 28.30 at 164.25. Gold is up a whopping $22.80 at 1643.20, and silver up 14 at 1846. All right, folks, this is getting interesting, okay? What is going to happen? I gave you the numbers last night. If you missed it, go back and check out last night's end of day report. I gave you the facts and the figures that you're not going to get anywhere else, telling you what each individual market needs to do today in order to maintain its bullish outlook. All right. So you have it. You have your marching orders. I gave it to you. All right, so now we have the opening bell upon us. Now, the futures didn't jump down worse. They're kind of maintaining right now. As you can see here with the Dow down 88. We got to watch this today because we have crash alerts abounding, and I gave those to you last night. Those have not changed. All right, so we got to watch these things to see what's going to happen. Now, we do have a question here. The question is, when will the bull market burst into new highs in cryptos? That's a very good question. And I cover that in the daily crypto reports. If you like to be kept abreast to the exact moment that you can expect that to happen, you're going to want to go to PulseWaveTrading.com and get yourself a 6-pack. That will keep you abreast on exactly the when and the where on how and when that's going to happen. If you're sitting on a large portfolio of crypto and or you need to make some moves, important decisions come shortly, then it behooves you to go ahead and handle your business, man. Get that 6-pack. Get one for you and a friend. That way you can be kept abreast of what's going on. But right now, your Bitcoin is in a state of correction at the moment, and it's trying to fight that off. And we did cover that last night. So right now, this is one of those critical junctures that the market's in. It needs to decide what it's going to do. Bitcoin does have a rally alert right now. Okay, so that's one that needs to be watched. I think right now it's trying its best to get back above ground, which is good, and it just needs to maintain. So you do have a rally alert there. As far as your altcoins, you got a rally alert. You had one in EOS today, had one in Veritasium and Waves and ZRX. Those are the notable ones. As far as crash alerts, had one for Dash, excuse me, Ethereum, Neo, and Ripple and Zcash. Now, it should be noted, though, that for the most part, all of these, with the exception of 2, are in a bull market. Okay, even if it's in a stage of correction, it's still bullish. The only ones that are bearish right now is Veritasium and XEM. Those 2 are in bearish footings, but the Veritasium looks like it's trying to bounce back again. So we're in a bear market correction now in Veritasium, but we are still very much bearish in the XEM NEM. So that's something to take under advisement. All right. So very interesting times that we're in today. Take back Friday. You never know what's going to happen. You got to have those stops in, though, folks. Keep those stops in. You don't have a choice. You don't want to become a statistic. All right. So another thing I wanted to throw your way. India set to dazzle Trump with pomp and circumstance as trade woes fester. The U.S. president will receive the biggest public reception for any foreign leader in years next week, which could help paper over trade frictions. Oh, my goodness. Notice how you have a China story and an India story right next to each other. I told you guys, this is a situation, folks. Everybody knows that no India, no customer service. No China, no manufacturing. And your whole thing comes to a halt. So keep that in there. We're going to come back to that in a second. China firms are rushing to sell $10 billion worth of shares as funding rules have been eased amid virus worries. More than 50 listed Chinese companies have published fresh or revived plans to raise as much as 73 billion yuan or $10.4 billion through private placements, Reuters calculated. John Deere reports unexpected rise in quarterly profits. The farm equipment titan posted a 4% rise in net income as the U.S. farm sector showed early signs of stabilizing. Is that right? Now, you need to ask yourself a question. If what they just reported is correct, all right, on John Deere, all right, notice how I said if what they are reporting is correct. And once again, we're talking about what? John Deere. Then shouldn't, and this is just an observation, you tell me. Now, John Deere is in that that whole, farming situation, right? Okay, so if John Deere is experiencing an unexpected boost in profits, the question should be then, okay, how did that happen? Because what's up with Caterpillar? Caterpillar is the farming index, if you will, of infrastructure and construction. It looks at a global economy. It looks at a nation's strength. All right. If you're not building stuff, then you don't really have too much of a GDP going on or economy, right? So shouldn't Caterpillar be having something going on with it? Nah. Caterpillar, on the other hand, is in a straight up correction coming off of a market top. How do you deal with that? You don't. You have to. All right. It topped out. It's already down about what, $4 off of its high. And this ain't Apple or Amazon where you have, or Google where you can have 30 to 60 to $70 moves in a day, or Tesla. This is a $40 stock. You're lucky if you get a dollar or two move in a day. And this thing is down, $5. What are you gonna do about that? I'm just saying you gotta look at everything when you get these reports. You gotta look at everything. All right, next. Earnings season rolls on. AIA, Alliance, and John Deere are some of the highlights, as we just found out. Interesting data is coming out. Keep an eye out for Purchasing Managers Index, the PMI figures, and a raft of Fed speeches. Oh, okay. Someone said Reggie is back, and he just uploaded a video today. All right. Man, I got to get him on the show. I would love to interview him. If anybody can make that happen, please hit me up, drop me a line, because I would love to have Reggie on. There's a lot to talk about with that. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. Okay. People are really concerned now about Chinese factories shutting down, and as a result, damaging the global economy, since China is the sweatshop of the world. And I say that lovingly, not disrespectfully. This is a situation that we have to deal with. We have to talk about it. All right. Only time will tell. Just saying, only time will tell, folks. Now here's another issue too that no one's really talking about. No one's talking about this stuff. Okay. Global crop failures continue. In Australia, this is going to be the worst harvest ever recorded. See, folks, people look at things in the news and say, "Oh, poor them. Sucks to live in Australia. Oh man, poor China. Sucks to be them. I'm glad I don't live there." Not knowing that we're a global economy now. So what happens on one side of the aisle eventually will affect all the other sides of the aisle. We need to understand that, okay? So, and then another thing just broke out. South Korean coronavirus cases explode after super spreader event. All right. South Korea is emerging as the biggest coronavirus super cluster outside of China. That is a big deal. You got to look at that. Do you guys remember? I was the first person on YouTube that told you when this story about coronavirus first broke. What did I tell you? I said, if this thing is, slow and, only a couple of deaths, basically. All right. So, it's a news piece they were using to smoke screen you from something that's really going on. Remember I said that? But then I also said, however, if this thing gets out of hand and starts like morphing or whatever, then I said it is a weaponized attack on citizens. Remember I said that? Now, after I said that, then everybody and their mother started saying, "Oh, weaponize, weaponize." Now, normally, okay, normally, if someone like myself comes out and says that first, the first thing you're going to hear people say, "Oh, look at this nut. Look at this tinfoil hat wearing dude spreading conspiracy theories already, and nothing's even happened. It's just a breaking story." Nope, 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 nope. I got ahead of the story. The algos always tell you what's happening, even if you don't know the particulars and the intricacies of it. The markets always tell you what's up. So always keep that in mind. If you're ever in doubt, follow the money. And that's just not from an investigative purpose, but literally follow the money. Look at what the markets are doing in real time, and that will tell you all that you need to know. People like to say that the market is dumb, and they used to use terms like smart money, dumb money. There's no such thing as dumb money anymore because the retail guy is no longer in the picture. It's all large institutional money. All right? No such thing. So if you're saying dumb money, you're basically saying the institutional people with all the money are dumb. Okay? So I'm just saying, folks, you got to do the knowledge to stuff. You got to really do the knowledge to stuff. Okay? You got to do the knowledge. You got to really examine facts versus truth. Facts are not necessarily truth. We talked about that. This coronavirus thing is getting out of control. It is an issue. Whether we want to accept it or deal with it is of no matter. All right? We have to call things what they are and deal with things. Even if you don't believe the coronavirus thing is an issue, other people believe it's an issue. So you are affected by what other people do. People, the old saying, well, shoot, what someone else do don't have nothing to do with me. What it does in a global market setting, it does. What other people do does affect you, whether you want to understand it or not. How will it affect you? Okay. So let's say that it's a summer's day. The temperature early in the morning is already 90 degrees. It's going to be a scorcher today. And clear skies with no rain. No rain to cool you off, okay? Matter of fact, you had plans of going to the beach. And so did everybody else, okay? But for some odd reason, you wake up, you're loading up the car, getting ready to head out early to the beach, so you can get a good spot. But you notice something. All the cars in your neighborhood, they're gone. People normally don't leave out to go to work to make that drive until around, maybe 7 o'clock in the morning. But today, you're up early and it's barely 6 o'clock and there are no cars in the driveway. And you're like, what in the world is going on? This is kind of odd. But he was like, who knows? Maybe people went into work early to beat the rush hour traffic. Who knows? So you think nothing of it. Well, you're ready to hit the road. You're driving. And when you come to the interstate, it is jam-packed. So you're saying to yourself, oh, that's just great. That is just great. So you're thinking to yourself, there's an accident. There's an idiot driving half awake, and now I got to pay for it. There's no construction in your area, so you think accident. But then you turn on the radio to see if you can find an alternate route, if you can turn off on the next exit or something. And what do you find? You know what you find? You find out that breaking news, your local grocery store, Acme Inc., is run out of food and run out of water and run out of milk and run out of eggs and run out of bread. As a big run on the store happened early this morning. Because people believe that it's going to snow based on some website that claims that there is a massive coronal effect with the sun and XYZ, blah, blah, blah. blah, 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 scientific term, blah, blah, blah. It's the middle of July. It's 90 degrees outside. People ran to the store. They bought out all the supplies that you wanted. Okay? This has nothing to do with what you were doing for the day. You were going down to the beach to chill. Instead, people, not you, ran to your local stores and cleaned off the shelves thinking it's going to snow. Doesn't matter if the facts say it's not going to snow. All right? They believe it's going to snow. And because they believe it's going to snow and be a blizzard, they went and bought out all the supplies, and there's no food on the shelf. So see, what people think does and can affect you. Doesn't matter what you believe. It matters what other people think when we are in a global economy. All right? That's what's up. All right? You got to understand this, folks. So you do need to be on the defensive when you need to be and be on the offensive when you need to be, and you need to know when to do which. That's why PulseWave trading exists, to help put you in that situation. All right, to the best of my abilities and knowledge and expertise. So with that being said, I won't keep you any longer. I know y'all got things to do. Keep in mind, I will not be back this evening. I don't do end-of-day reports on Fridays because I'm lazy and I like to get an extra time in for my weekend. Is that okay? I mean, it's bad enough I got to come back, on a Sunday and get these reports out for a Sunday night because, as you do know, the markets open at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for forex trading and futures trading. So I got to be on point, right? So cut me a little slack. That's how I roll. No end of day reports on Fridays. And I normally do not add new positions on a Friday. You can manage your open positions, but I don't recommend putting on new positions. Unless we're talking about crypto, then those rules are a little bit different. I still don't recommend trading on the weekend with crypto. Some of you do it anyway. I can't stop you. You can manage your positions though, but I know it's a different marketplace, different world, blah, blah, blah. I got it. I get it. But me, I don't do it. Who will spend all weekend sitting in front of a TV? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I will definitely, be back on, Monday. I'm thinking about doing something on Sunday afternoons, like a pre-market pulse scan before the market opens. I don't know. You guys tell me what you want me to do. All right. If you want me to do it, maybe I'll consider it. I don't know. I like to chill though, y'all. I work hard, But if y'all want it, maybe it's something we can think about. We can talk about it. All right. I'm also throwing around another thing that I'm working on. I will make that announcement possibly live today at the webinar at 11 a.m. You got to go to pulsewavetrading.com to register so you don't miss it. I probably will not make that announcement again after that. So just want to say. All right. So with that being said, remember, folks, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. Peace.